So explain method.
Okay, yeah.
Like method acting?
Method acting.
I've heard that term. I have no clue what it means.
All it means is if you're doing method acting, then whatever you're feeling, you're supposed to be feeling in the scene, whatever emotion I'm seeing you express, it's real. There's no acting. So method acting means it has to be real.
Got it. Is this why people like Ben Stiller have made 35 movies basically just playing himself?
Yeah, like he's not a method actor, but great. I mean, whatever he does is fantastic.
Right. Because don't you just get the feeling he's playing him? Like he's this goofy. He was the class clown. Like, I'm kind of spazzy, but I'm funny while I'm doing it.
Yes.
Like all of his movies are just him playing a really dumb or a really smart version of him.
You can make $100 million playing you if you find that one you that people want to hire. You know,
right?
So, yeah. So so it's very unusual. Most classes, if you go to an acting class, they'll say they want real, but they don't really teach you how to do that, how to really feel something for real. How do you do that? You know?
Right.
So you have to learn how, and then you have to have the instrument to feel it.
So here's the thing that I've never understood.
Go ahead.
And grab your cigar. I'm gonna pontificate. You know, there's that old joke where it's like those who can't teach and those who can't teach PE. So I always wonder when there's like a world-class sales coach or a world-class acting coach, or they're supposedly coaching in this industry where you can make big money. Like if you're the best salesperson in the world, you know, we know some loan officers who make millions and millions of dollars a year. There's actors who make tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars a year. If you, like you mentioned this guy, Eric Morris, if he's the best, right? Why isn't he just the best actor? Why isn't he making $15 million a picture, being the greatest method actor of all time and doing Shakespeare and comedy? And like, why isn't he Robert De Niro versus being Eric Morris? Like,
right.
I don't get it. Like acting teachers kind of make me giggle inside because I'm like, well, if you were really good at it, wouldn't you just act?
Wouldn't you just be, Remember Jeff Van Gundy?
No.
The
basketball coach.
Yeah, the short white.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe 5'10".
Yeah. Teaching basketball. I mean,
looks like everybody's accountant.
Yeah. So teaching, you could, Eric is a good actor, but he happens to have a real knack for teaching.
Interesting.
So he was pursuing his career. He never got the big break. He used to be hanging out with Jack Nicholson and a few other people. Jack got the break. He didn't get the break. And then he was just doing basic jobs, and someone said, hey, you should teach. And he was going to an acting class. He was going to an acting class with, what's his name? It's escaping me.
Doesn't matter.
He had to go do a movie. He had to go do Cleopatra at the time. That's how long ago that he started teaching. So
Eric's an old dude. He's
91.
Okay, so yeah. I was gonna say he's getting up there if he had a role in Cleopatra.
Yeah. So no, he was in an acting class. The teacher had to leave to go do a role in Cleopatra.
Got it.
He lost his acting class. A friend of his said, "Why don't you start an acting class just so you have somewhere to go?" That's what started his teaching career. And then it turns out he just happens to be insanely talented. He didn't know. He didn't know he was talented.
Interesting.
He just was like making a couple of bucks, and then it turns out he has this insane talent. And he's written 10 books now. He's been teaching for 50 years. He didn't know it either.
So he knows his craft really well.
Really well, yes.
So you mentioned, Jack Nicholson got the break. Eric Morris didn't get the break.
Yes.
One of the most gorgeous women I know, friend of mine, Desiree Hall, red hair, actress, beautiful. Like she could very easily be Scarlett Johansson, right? Yeah. But somewhere, redhead Scarlett Johansson got the break, and Desiree did a couple cool commercials, and she chose a different path, being a mom and a great wife and everything. But it's like, how much of it is Scarlett Johansson is 1%, 10%, 40% better actress than other insert redhead versus just right place, right time, right casting director, right script, and boom, they take off, and now Scarlett Johansson makes $100 million a year.
The latter.
Yeah. Just dumb luck.
Hard
work, dumb luck?
I think she worked, I'm sure, if we got our story, there's probably a ton of hard work. You'd be surprised because when you look behind the scenes, you have to go do auditions, right?
Right.
Well, you could suck. You could be a great actor, terrible auditioner.
Explain. That doesn't make any sense to me. Explain that.
I mean, because auditioning is like its own thing. I always compare it to like you could be a great boyfriend, husband, terrible at meeting women, terrible. But you're great in a relationship.
Right.
But that like getting the girl, totally different skill.
Than keeping the girl.
Keeping the girl.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Or you could be a great opener. You could be the best on a first date and just be horrible boyfriend material.
Horrible. Right.
Got it.
So in acting, if you're a good auditioner, you're going to book. If you're not a good auditioner, you're not going to book. You'd be the greatest actor ever and a terrible auditioner. You have famous people. If you listen to them talk, they'll talk about auditions, and they'll be like, "Oh, I hate auditioning. Auditioning the worst." It's just a whole other thing.
Wait, isn't auditioning just a microcosm of the acting? Like, don't they say, "Hey, here's one scene from the movie. Just read this scene, and we'll see how you fit"? Like, I don't get it. I've never been to an audition.
No,
obviously.
sure. Okay, let's just say we have our little heartbreaking scene here that we're
okay.
we're
Perfect.
okay?
Brothers, mom just died.
Yeah, mom just died. You're about to fall apart. In an audition, here's how it goes. So I'm going to go and audition for the part. I'm sitting in a chair outside an office. Come on in. You walk inside. Hi, Christian? Yeah. Okay, great. All right, whenever you're ready. You do the scene. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay, that's very different than we're on set. We have hours to shoot. We do a little prep before. We're sitting in our chairs. We can relate to each other.
You've done 5 read-throughs with the rest of the cast.
Yeah, the environment's there.
Right.
You're in the scene. I mean, it's very unnatural. I've walked into an audition room that was like a closet.
Right.
I mean, a tiny thing. There's a camera on you. It could not be more anti-acting.
Right.
You know? Hi, come on in. I mean, sometimes you have 10 seconds. You walk in.
And do you have the scene like weeks in advance to prep, or do they hand it to you
right in advance?
A day in advance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you come in. I mean, it's like they even say like, "Hey, how are you?" And you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" That kind of throws you off. Like you're supposed to do a scene in like 5 seconds.
Right.
You have to literally go in, "Hi," while you have this running in the background. "Hey, how's it going?" "Okay, I'm ready." And then
yeah.